And now it's time for Bum Reviews with Chester A. Bum. Tonight's review...
Twilight 4. No, actually, that's Red Riding Hood. You're serious?
Yes.
This isn't Twilight 4?
No.
Alright. You're absolutely serious about
Yes,
that?
yes, it's in the opening credits.
Alright. Do this again.
Tonight's review...
Red Riding Hood. So obviously Twilight 4.
I know, just go with it.
Oh my god, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life!
I'm on my way to grandmother's.
Spoilers! There's this girl named Red Riding Hood.
Actually, she's called something else,
But you won't call her that! And she's in love with this boy who looks like Edward?
Because it is Edward. It's so
No,
obviously
no,
Edward. This is Twilight. We're watching
will you
Twilight,
stop
for
it?
God's sake.
I'm professional.
And it turns out their town is under attack by a werewolf!
Because it's so obviously Twilight. Sorry.
So a bunch of guys get together to take out the big bad wolf, but it turns out they killed a small, slightly ill-tempered wolf. Hooray! But then, Gary Oldman comes in as the professional werewolf hunter. I am Gary Oldman. I took this role because it allows me to do a silly accent.
Didn't you read the script?
I don't have to. Silly accent, I'm on board.
Weird.
Yeah. So all the people are like, we don't need you, we already killed the big bad wolf. And Oldman is like, that's not a werewolf, I should know.
Why?
Because I was a vampire.
Wait, this is a lot like Twilight.
I told you.
Shut up! So everybody in the movie is like, who could the big bad wolf be? And the movie's like, maybe it's the grandmother.
So obviously it's not the grandmother.
And then the movie's like,
Maybe it's the boyfriend.
so obviously it's not the boyfriend. And then the movie's like,
It could be anybody except the one person we haven't said it could be yet.
that's a werewolf!
Oh, pooh, how'd you guess?
But it turns out Red Riding Hood can understand the werewolf, and he's like, come with me so I can take you far away!
But what will we do?
You'll pose on the mountains like the cover of a romance novel. You'll stare curiously at nothing, and you'll wear a red cloak that's 10 sizes too large and you'll probably get caught on everything.
Well, will you take me to Jacob?
No! What do you think you're watching? This isn't Lost!
So Red Riding Hood turns down his offer because...
He's a freaking wolf, and everybody thinks that she's a witch because she can understand the wolf.
Which is kinda true. I mean, all the boys she falls in love with have hair gel years before it was invented. Gotta be something supernatural about that.
So, to lure the wolf out, they chain her to a chair and put this giant wolf mask on her. And everybody's like,
Why is she wearing the wolf mask?
it's symbolic that there is a beast in all of us, even in the most beautiful of creatures.
And it'll look cool in the
And it'll
trailer.
look cool in the trailer.
So the wolf comes, but they get her behind a church?
Because the wolf can't...
Can't enter on church grounds. It's like the movie Sleepy Hollow, only this one's not intentionally funny.
I think.
But the wolf bites Gary Oldman, and thus they have to kill him. Before you die, tell me what your accent was.
Okay.
So Red Riding Hood finally figures out who the werewolf was. So she goes to grandmother's house to try and save her.
When all of a sudden...
The boyfriend arrives, and she's like,
You're the wolf! No, I'm not.
"Die!"
Ow, you stabbed me. I still love you.
But when she makes it to grandmother's house, it turns out it wasn't the boyfriend. It was her father.
That's not true! That's impossible!
Search your feelings. You know it to be true. But the father's like,
Dude, you should totally be a werewolf. It's like the coolest thing ever. How?
you are invincible.
Except for silver, churches, sharp objects. Oh, and the fact that you can't go where other people can go and everybody's trying to kill you.
Being a werewolf sucks. But then the boyfriend comes in and kills him off. Hooray!
After getting bitten by him. Hooroo.
So Red Riding Hood is like,
You risked your life to save me even though I stabbed you and doubted you throughout this whole movie?
of course, for that is what boys do in tween girl porn.
Ah!
So the boy is like, well, I'm gonna run off and do my werewolf thing. But when the time is right, I will totally come back for you.
Oh yes, and I will wait for you!
I had a feeling you'd say that.
And you'll wait for me, right? Tween girl porn?
Oh yes, of course I will, because that's what every male thinks about. Only their female counterpart, and nothing else.
Ah!
This is tripe.
So the boy is about to go off and live with his werewolfiness, but suddenly Red Riding Hood is like,
Wait a minute, we barely had a romance!
what?
Most of the movie was just trying to figure out who the werewolf was. We barely even talked to each other.
Oh, that's a good point.
Here's some collages of us making out because we forgot to put it in earlier. So sometime later, the wolf returns and Red just looks at him, giving a seductive little smile.
And the moral of the story is...
Bestiality is okay! I mean, they just cut to the credits before anything else happens. What do you think they're doing? She's taking off his sheep's clothing. He's riding her hood. She's blowing his house down. The better to eat her with. She's taking him to Grandma's house. He's checking under her hood.
Holy smokes, I can make a book of these. This is Chester E. Bum saying,
Change! You can't change! Oh, come on, help a guy out, will ya? Come on, change! Come on, I can turn into a werewolf too! Just catch me without shaving for a week!